podcast, and today I'm thrilled to be speaking with Gangstagrass, all of Gangstagrass.
Yeah, we all here, baby. Gangstagrass.
You guys are going to be at the Hult Center Thursday, January 23rd, and tickets are on sale now at hultcenter.org. We're excited.
It's gonna be so good. You're gonna be so glad you came.
Let's dive right into this. You guys have taken two very American musical genres, bluegrass and hip hop, and kind of made it your own. Just tell me about this.
Mm-hmm. I grew up listening to country music and hip hop because my dad was from Oklahoma and played a lot of honky tonk on the record player at home, and then me and my friends were listening to hip hop in the '80s while we were getting into breakdancing and stuff. And so when I started producing music, it just seemed natural to me to want to have some of both going on at the same time, and it never seemed like it would be a problem until I started doing it, and people said that's a problem, and I said I don't care. So then we just kept going.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of the living, breathing demonstration of collaboration that can happen, even though people see differences, only differences.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, and it's been a really interesting learning journey for this, because I just started doing it because I thought it sounded cool, but also learning that the impression people have that these are so different and separate is actually really an illusion that was put in place by the record industry that started during Jim Crow segregation and denoted what was essentially the same Southern music into two different genres based on race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys are the anti-cultural divide.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys are Billboard charting, had a TV theme song. How does this feel?
Personal successes for me are like you were saying, is really watching the crowd get it, and watching people show up and be like, all right, I don't know what this is, and by the end of the show, like losing their minds and sweating because they were dancing like crazy and that kind of stuff. That's personal successes for me.
That's awesome.
That and people knowing the words to stuff before they show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personal success for me.
What challenges do you guys have creatively, when crafting this music from two worlds, I suppose?
What stuff to not put on the album because it's all so good. The last album that we just put out, Blackest Thing on the Menu, we had 25 songs recorded. So the idea of really culling it down to the perfect ones for that album, and making sure that everything fit and that it flowed right and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest part. You're dealing with a bunch of very talented cats. Wrench creating the beats. The last that last album, the guys we had working on that, the stuff we're working on now, our two new gentlemen here with us, my man Big Joe and Josh Emerson here on the banjo. Joe's on the fiddle. Creating with just talented people just gives you so much to mine from. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part, trying to figure out what's going to be for this project and then what's going to be for the next one. And, everybody's like, nah, I want this one on here. We should do this one and that one. And how do we, that's really the hardest part for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hijack this interview for a second and flip that question upside down. I want Arson, can you explain to people why it's so easy for us to be playing these two genres at the same time?
It's that easy because of, like I said, the talent in the room, right? My man Doleo the Sleuth here is one of my favorite MCs. I've been in this hip hop thing for, most of my life, and I've heard some amazing rhymes and stuff. And this guy right here, I'll put him bar for bar with anybody, right? Wrench as a producer, this guy can make any beats, any sort of styles, any sort of however you may want to make it work, he can make it work. And so when you have so much talent and so much just ability within the whole thing, it's easy, number one, and because the two musical styles, so to speak, are so fluid in themselves and you can do so much with them, they flow together so well, right?
Hmm.
It was almost the easiest thing in the world to take a lot of the sort of melodic nature of bluegrass and bluegrass sounds and lay it right within a lot of the heavy percussion within in a lot of hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
And as long as as lyrically it's dope, which it is, like I said, my man Dolio the Sleuth is, one of my all time greats. And I'm not so bad, I'm all right. I'll jump into a fray with a microphone with anybody that's ever done it. And so when you have so much talent and the genres are more open than a lot of people might realize, to
Hmm.
be able to blend together and mix all sorts of stuff in them and with them, it's actually not the hardest thing in the world if the talent is there, and the talent is here.
You recorded 25 songs on this previous record. What do you do with the songs that you play them live? The other songs that didn't make the cut, or because there's probably still some favorites in there.
Have we played any of that stuff?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, there was a couple that we were playing for a while before we decided what went on the album, so that
Hmm.
it really developed. So one example is a song called "Let's Both" that we released later when we did like an expanded, deluxe release and
Sure.
included a few more tracks and a remix. So people are still going to get some of those coming out here and there.
Oh, cool. So they're not lost.
They're not lost. They're always we might go back to them later and keep honing them and making them even more spectacular, and then get them on an album. So you just never know.
Cool. And is there a group favorite that you just love performing live?
Well, we got to talk about "Up High, Do or Die," which was on the album, the new album, "The Blackest Thing on the Menu," and it's using a bluegrass song written by Bill Monroe and Kenny Baker, that we got permission to be co-writers with Bill Monroe on that. So that's a pretty cool fact. But we flipped it up so it goes pretty hard now. And you come to the show, you're gonna see it. It's gonna blast off, and it's hard to describe. This is one of those things that you just got to come and see how we just flow and integrate with each other, and we're spontaneous and improvise, and the whole thing is really really a live experience.
Nice. People can expect free flowing, high energy, good time. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Let's see. We want to mention that everybody should bring all their friends. They should bring their kids. They should bring their parents. They should bring their grandparents. This show is going to be cool for everybody. It's all ages, and it's gonna be a uh, spectacular evening. Dolio likes to explain a little bit about what makes our shows different.
Um, well, I like to tell people we don't do shows; we host celebrations. So
I like that.
every show is going to be different because there's a different audience. So we feeding off the energy of the crowd, and giving that love right back to them. So stretch. You don't want anybody pulling a hammy. There's definitely going to be some sweating involved.
I just want to note that bring your kids, bring your grandparents thing is for real. When you come to a Gangstagrass show, you will see little kids dancing up a storm in the front row, and people that you might have thought were too old to be dancing also dancing up a storm in the front row. And you'll see, a teenager and that kid's parents, and they're all like smiling and having a great time. So it really is something that's you'll see in the audience. It's for everybody.
Sometimes you'll even see people who shouldn't be dancing. So, but you got to roll with it. Let them get loose.
Hmm.
Let them get loose. And one of the things that also makes this work so easy is that bluegrass and hip hop both have a lot of improvisation to them, whether it's freestyling or soloing. And so you're going to see a lot of that interaction where the version that we play on stage is actually going to be probably different from the way it is on the album, and it's going to be different from the way it was on the show before that. It's all free flowing, and so you're catching an absolutely unique performance that we're sort of doing on the spot. But we do definitely come out after the show. We love meeting people, and we just want to say to everybody catching this right now that we love you and we want to see you at the show. Everybody out there and all of whoever you are that wants to come, you're going to be welcome there. We're going to play awesome music, and also this experience of putting music together that people have the impression shouldn't be together has given us some things to say about what's possible for the country in the future. So you can come and be inspired by that as well.
Absolutely. Everyone's got to answer this question. Favorite record that you can go, cover to cover, every song.
They Might Be Giants, Flood.
Oh, good one. A brand new album in 1990.
Yes.
Pete Rock and CL Smooth, The Main Ingredient. Their second album, life changing.
Digital Underground, Sex Packets.
Yeah.
All right, I don't mean to step on the toes of a banjo player, but probably Bela Fleck Drive, the Drive album that's instrumentals and with all the greatest instrumentalists. That's amazing. But sorry, banjo player.
Hey, no offense taken. Mine would certainly be Alison Krauss and Union Station, their live album that they did in a theater somewhere in Tennessee, I think. But that one was great, cover to cover.
I'm gonna go with Portishead Dummy. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, yeah, of course," but if you're not on that tip, you better check it out.
I got one more. Ronnie Size and Represent, New Forms.
NXS Kick.
Wow. Now we just have this super playlist here. Favorite tour food?
Well, we have had a tradition recently of trying to have milkshakes after a show, and so we do have a tip fund at the merchandise table where folks can contribute to our milkshake fund for the end of the night.
I'm saying this because there seems to be a consistent one is shrimp and grits.
Oh, that's home cooked in this not.
Yeah, this guy right here keeps a brother chubby. Let me tell you.
Yeah, anything that Dolio makes.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. If you have the great fortune to have a dinner cooked by this crew, we do throw down.
Nice.
Yeah. So favorite tour meal is just any meal that we're all having together, especially if it's one that we've cooked.
That's awesome.
And we are making shrimp and grits tonight, by the way.
Mint chip or cookie dough ice cream?
Mint chip is in the freezer right now. Although personally, I think that's gross. Coffee is the other.
Coffee ice cream, bruh.
So between us, if we have coffee milkshakes and mint chip milkshakes, everybody is very happy.
Facts.
Perfect. Good answer. Now, favorite song to belt out, like whether it's in the car or the shower, that maybe you shouldn't be belting out?
Well, one that we find ourselves belting out from time to time is the theme song from The Greatest American Hero.
Oh.
Sometimes it's hard not to break into a little bit of "Stand by Your Man," and when I'm doing it, it gets a whole different meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Got to throw in Dan Tyminski's "Carry Me Across the Mountain."
Oh, this is not one. I'm not embarrassed by this one, but if I'm in the car, it's the Avicii "Hey Brother."
Just because I've never kidnapped or jacked a fool, Annie Up by MOP it's one of the best songs ever made. Like literally, it should be the national anthem. It should be everybody's wake up song. Funk Flex is just yelling and to start it off, and then Billy Danz and Lil Fame are just going nuts on that record. Like if you can't wake up to that song, you're obviously dead.
Yeah, for the hip hop heads out there that have listened to Annie Up a lot and want to find out what it sounds like when you put a banjo on it too, we have been known to bust that out at our live shows and do a bluegrass hip hop version of Annie Up. And for any of the country friends out there that want to know what it would sound like if Man of Constant Sorrow had some rap verses, that might happen at the show too. So everybody's going to have some surprises there.
Nice. Love that song too. Gangstagrass is going to be here Thursday, January 23rd at the Hult Center. Tickets are on sale now at hultcenter.org, and we will see you there. Thanks for being here, guys.
Peace.
Slipping in the vapor ride, silver lining of this pattern, something that's electrified, sharp enough to catch the eye, strike and leave you petrified. Can't believe the feeling with these rhymes up in your face, cause I'm a 6-foot axe with a lumberjack to chop a tree. Pay attention to the words you say whenever you talk to me. Cool, calm, collected, cause the fire isn't what you see unless you give it fuel enough to burn you up properly. I am what I am. I'ma be what I'ma be. Realization of my ancestors, every while it's